You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me. I am inevitable.
Well, it's official. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is expanding, inflating even more. Obviously, as we know, they've got the whole multiverse going on now, which is basically an enormous way for them to bring back like nostalgic characters or reuse other characters. Wait, that Wolverine guy, he fell off in that film called Logan that was really, really good, and it completely concluded his arc. Okay, I tell you what, the multiverse is a thing. Let's bring him back for a funny one with Deadpool.
18 to 49-year-old women are super important demo for us. No cap.
What?
No cap.
What does that mean?
It's what all of my fellow Gen Zers say.
Now, I can already hear the Marvelites raising their pitchforks ready to indict me like a Dark Souls 1 player. But I do want to say, do I hate the multiverse thing? I don't really. I mean, obviously, you reach a certain point where you talk about every single character, every single comic, and you don't have anything else to talk about. And a lot of characters in other films have been game ended. So what do? Obviously, with the multiverse, if one character, you know, like canonically gets game ended in this one Avengers film, every other multiverse, that character might still be alive and you can just, you know, pluck them from there. They obviously expanded on this a lot more in the Loki TV series, you know, basically the head of like where, you know, universes connect with each other are. And also, I do think the multiverse in a sense can be a good thing because obviously there's a roster of characters that people are really, really nostalgic to. And you know, when I said they've been going through every single comic available and just milking them dry, look at Madam Web. You know, Madam Web was like an actual comic. Like, I don't even read comics that much. I used to as a kid, but even I knew that Madam Web was an actual comic book character. I watched Madam Web, by the way. It has to be one of the worst films of all time. Like, the main bad guy in that film, it's like his performance was so quiet that they basically had him dub all of his lines in post. So anytime he speaks, it doesn't even match with his lips.
You have no idea of the torment and torture of dying over and over again. I can't escape it.
So back on the 27th of July, it was announced that Robert Downey Jr. will somehow be joining back into the MCU. Obviously, you know, he played Iron Man. He did an amazing job. And he was basically, Iron Man was the character that basically started the whole like blockbuster cinematic universe. You obviously had the comics and stuff, but Iron Man was one of the first franchises to have a superhero character.
It's time.
Now, I know a lot of you are going to jump on my back and say, well, what about Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy? That was cinema. Yes, it was. It was absolute cringe cinema. Like, for example, in the third Spider-Man film, where he's dancing down the street like an incel.
Gonna cry?
But you know why Iron Man was the beginning of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Not because we had cameos from other superheroes and they teamed up together like with, you know, Captain America. No, it's because Elon Musk had a cameo.
Good idea for an electric jet.
You do?
Yeah.
Then we'll make it work.
I actually have a lot of respect for Robert Downey Jr. because I don't really remember the Iron Man films that much. I'm not really much of a Marvel head, but one thing I do remember is him having an interview with Channel 4, Channel 4 being the same company that produced Utopia, which is really surprising. And in this interview, it's great because he just storms off because it's so obvious the interviewer is like trying to purposely, you know, he's basically clickbaiting. He's doing like an Aiden Ross clickbait, trying to get a reaction out of him, like asking him about like purposely touchy subjects. Like, how's your dad? Your dad that you don't like. How is he? Do you like drugs?
The reason I'm asking about the past is that your relationship with your father and, you know, the dark periods you went to. Still something.
I'm sorry, I really don't. What are we doing? Okay. Bye.
So Robert Downey Jr. is joining the MCU, but surprisingly, instead of playing Tony Stark, he's going to be playing Dr. Doom. Now, the reveal around this was really, really embarrassing because obviously, you know, at the expo, everyone was filming the guy on stage. You know, he's going to take his mask off, reveal who's playing Dr. Doom. And I don't know if this has been edited in post, but in one of the clips, you can literally hear someone say Jared Leto just before the reveal, thinking that this is the universe where we're really going to have Jared Leto playing as Dr. Doom.
Jared Leto.
Obviously, initially, a lot of people were like, what? I mean, it's good. We like Robert Downey Jr. We like Iron Man. And obviously, after the funny Thanos snap, he basically sacrificed himself. So Iron Man has been game ended. But why are you now bringing him back as Dr. Doom? Now, obviously, my game theory is it's going to be like a multiverse thing. You know, what if Iron Man, but le bad? What if le rich man, instead of doing le good, becomes le bad? I just really hope they play like some MF Doom to like introduce him in the film. So that'll be Avengers Doomsday that comes out in 2026. And Robert apparently only signed on to play Dr. Doom if the Russo brothers were directing it. Obviously, they've done films like Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, which I'll be honest, I just remember how much of a spectacle Infinity War and Endgame was. Like, I do not ever go to the cinema to see films. I mean, even now, like, I kind of want to go to the cinema to see Longlegs because, you know, I keep, you know, let me in now, and it can be nice. Let me in now. Like, I really want to see Longlegs, but I can't because I can't be asked to go to the cinema because I'm so lazy. I remember still seeing Avengers Infinity War and Endgame in the cinemas, and I remember seeing like Endgame at the midnight release. I was actually passed out in my chair, like in the cinema, and I woke up because every little soy man inside the cinema started applauding when Captain America picked up Thor's hammer. But the funny thing is, this isn't actually the first time where Robert Downey Jr. has been offered the role to play Dr. Doom, because this goes all the way back to like the 2005 version of Fantastic Four. He was even considered for the role there. Now, Avengers Doomsday is slated for release in 2026, which is also when the final season of The Boys comes out in 2026. Oh my God, dude. That is a while away, okay? I just want to put that into consideration. Keep in mind, a year from now, the people that you're going to be arguing with in the TikTok and YouTube comment section are probably going to be younger than The Boys Season 3. Like, I'm not even joking. I saw this one comment on TikTok that absolutely killed me. It was like, you know, someone basically trying to roast, saying, like, he was born in 2024 because his opinion was so stupid. And then he thought, bro thought he clapped back by saying, no, actually, I was born in 2016. That makes him 8 years old. You've got to be like 13 to use most social media. Who is he calling little bro with that skull emoji? Who are you calling little bro? You're literally 8. Who are you calling little bro? Actually 8 years old. Who's bro calling little bro? You know, I just realized that guy is younger than GTA 5. GTA 5 came out before that kid was born. Yeah, that's just one reason to stay off the internet. We got GTA 5 before funny blocks through. Actual 8-year-old self-report. Ban him. Banned. Banned.
Band? I don't have a guitar or drums.
So obviously Robert Downey Jr. has an insane amount of pull because he's basically the most popular superhero character, because again, he started the MCU with his original series, but he's being paid over $100 million for playing Dr. Doom. And then the Russo brothers on top of that are going to get $80 million to basically direct the film. So this is an insane amount of money. Now, here's a couple of the stipulations as well, just to, you know, remind you that he is getting an insane amount here. So $100 million, we already mentioned that. The deal also includes private jet flights, personal security, and trailer encampment dedicated entirely to himself. So I'm not talking like he gets like a trailer. I'm talking like a trailer park. He gets all to himself. Again, it really does show that like once you get kicked out of the Marvelverse, you never ever leave. I mean, one of the biggest films he's been in recently that wasn't Marvel was obviously Oppenheimer. You know, the film where it's like, my le bomb? Le kill people? You know that film? He actually won an Oscar for that, for Best Supporting Actor. So it's obvious that, you know, he's not, you know, going quiet or anything. He's still got an insane amount of money, but he's not going anywhere anytime soon. It really does go to show that Marvel, and by proxy Disney, just have infinite amounts of money. And to be fair, I do feel like they need a banger, because pretty much every single film that's came out recently that's like Marvel related has been pretty ass. Obviously, you've got Deadpool and Wolverine. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm pretty sure that that is going to be good. I think I heard it's basically like the biggest opening gross, like the amount of earnings made for an R-rated film, which we knew it wasn't going to be a surprise. You literally have like the two most like raunchiest characters partnered together. Everyone has nostalgia for Logan, because obviously the Logan film, like we want to see more of him. And Deadpool is just the funny Reddit man. Updo. You know the gif on Discord where he's like pulling the slot machine? It's like, oh, it's 3 Reddit gold.
I'm touching myself tonight.
The point I'm trying to make is Disney has become such a content farm. There's been a fair amount of stinkers. Like, for example, The Acolyte. I'll be honest, I haven't seen it. My opinion has been tainted by YouTube videos, but I've seen the ratings on IMDb, and I watched the opening where you had like Carrie-Anne Moss, and I was like, oh my God, Trinity from The Matrix? Wait, she's going to be a main character? They kill her off in the first opening minute, and I was like, no, I'm good. I don't really care. And then after she killed Carrie-Anne Moss, she like goes over to like this guy running the bar, and then realizes that the guy has a kid, and then, you know, lets him live. It's like, I am Lebad, but I am not super bad. Now, a lot of the Marvel community that weren't buying Beyond Fried Chicken had a bit of a problem with Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom. One of the biggest criticisms people have is apparently this is whitewashing because Dr. Doom is Romany, and that's a huge deal to Dr. Doom's original backstory. Also, funny little side note, I talk about Romany here, and I instantly got reminded that was a huge plot thread in Utopia. You know, the yellow killing show video I made like a couple of years ago? There's like this old guy in the series, and he just like babbles and babbles, but he's actually speaking Romany.
This Roma is from Romania. Coincidence. You're still racist.
And also, because it's the internet, no one ever forgets, and whenever you have an accusation against you, people will then dogpile and bring up everything else that's happened in the past. And obviously, like I've just said, a lot of people think that this is whitewashing. And then they brought up Tropic Thunder. If you didn't know, Tropic Thunder was a film that Robert Downey Jr. played in, where he played a black man. He was basically doing blackface for the entire film.
To be a moron.
An imbecile.
Yeah.
Like the dumbest motherfucker ever lived.
I watched Tropic Thunder when I was about 10 years old. I actually had no idea that was a white person, let alone Robert Downey Jr. But again, I was 10 years old, so I can't really be cancelled for that. Basically, in Tropic Thunder, he's doing blackface because he's basically playing a method actor that has psyoped himself into thinking that he is a black person. Yeah! And surprisingly, unlike 99% of people that, like, you know, instantly say, okay, I'm sorry, that it was a different time, he's, like, completely stood by Tropic Thunder, still thinking that, no, it was totally okay. Now, again, a lot of people are thinking what is actually going to happen in this film, because obviously you have Iron Man and Dr. Doom, and they're both being played by the same person. Obviously, as we know, Iron Man is dead. He sacrificed himself. But I'm saying in the comics, Iron Man and Dr. Doom did clash a lot. So obviously, the biggest game theory at the minute is this is like Tony Stark, but if he went le bad. I am le rich, but now I am le bad. Apparently, there was a Dr. Doom in the comics, Anthony Stark from Earth 11029, and they basically end up switching bodies, like kind of a Freaky Friday meme. Or most likely, this could be some kind of adaptation from the infamous Iron Man comic. Or this could be a case where Robert Downey Jr. actually plays Dr. Doom and fully commits. I mean, I'll be honest, there's definitely going to be some kind of like sympathetic aspect here. I mean, we know how Thanos was like, I don't want to kill people, but le universe will le end. Le balance. Look, little child, look at this funny knife I have on my finger. Le balance. But I do feel that Dr. Doom is going to have a much more sympathetic aspect, and you know, I am kind of playing into that aspect of how it's probably going to be you know, Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man if he became bad. But also, part of me hopes and thinks that it's going to be like a Judge Dredd situation. If you didn't know, there was a Judge Dredd film that came out like well over 10 years ago. Judge Dredd was played by Carl Urban, who's, you know, Billy Butcher in The Boys. And in that film, you never saw his face. You know how like characters and actors and stuff like okay, a good example is like, you know, Venom, the film Venom.
What the hell are you?
The Fat Fur Collector.
I think Tom Hardy is an amazing actor. I love him, but I don't care about seeing his face. I just want to see Venom. Every time you keep showing like the human's face, I just don't care. Like, my brain switches off. It's much more interesting to see like the monster. And Judge Dredd, Carl Urban, never took his helmet off the entire film. You never see his face once. Maybe like a behind the scenes thing, or maybe at the very beginning of the film. I don't know. But it's not like, you know, anytime there's dialogue, he takes the helmet off and he just starts yapping. Like, because that isn't who Judge Dredd is. And I'm hoping that this is a thing with Dr. Doom where he just keeps his mask on the entire time and, you know, doesn't take it off every 5 seconds. You know, like he takes it off, he looks in the mirror, he looks a little bit sad, puts it back on, dramatic sting, and then we cut back to Captain America being old. I actually don't know who's left now. Who do we have left? Green Lantern? That's DC. The only thing I remember from Avengers Endgame is the bit where old Captain America goes, No, I don't think I will.
No, I don't think I will.
I think this is a purpose decision to bring Robert Downey Jr. back, because they could bring back Iron Man. They could. They could absolutely pull him from another multiverse or whatever. But you know for a fact that if they did that, all goodwill left with Marvel would die, because it's like there's no stakes. There's nothing. Like, any main character gets killed, okay, just pluck him from another multiverse. There we go, sorted. But obviously they could do that. They could do it in the writing, but they're choosing not to because they want this to be final. Because again, again, like I said, no one's gonna care and watch another Marvel film if like any character that dies can basically just be like quick revived. Now, I think another reason as to why they pulled Robert Downey Jr. and they gave him so much money is to kind of like move Kang the Conqueror as quick out of the picture as possible. If you didn't know, Kang the Conqueror was basically revealed in the Loki TV series. You know, this guy at the end of time, he dies, and then all of his other versions are released, and he's basically meant to be like Super Thanos, because there's like an infinite amount of versions of him, because every single universe has a Kang in them. Now, this guy was played by Jonathan Majors. He had some pretty bad allegations against him, and I'm not joking. Like, the people sat in the boardroom office at Disney must have just been waiting for the verdict to come out to immediately be like, no, he's fired, he's gone, bye-bye, bye-bye, Jonathan Majors. So back in 2023, he had like assault charges against his girlfriend, and Disney dropped him within nanoseconds. Now, this is where it gets a bit weird, because they obviously announced Doomsday, you know, after they were like, okay, Kang, you kind of hit your wife a little bit too hard. We can't have you on. Sorry. Goodbye. Robert Downey Jr. Here's 100 mil. Put on this funny mask. Start singing One Beer by MF Doom. Apparently as well, looking more into Jonathan Majors, he was meant to, like Kang, his character, was meant to appear in the Deadpool and Wolverine film. So the real question is now, will the film be good? I feel like Marvel and DC and all these other companies, they have this problem now where they've expressed like as much content as they can, where they're basically resorting to like nostalgia baiting. Remember that Doctor Strange film that just had like so many nostalgic callbacks? Like you had, you know, Patrick Stewart playing Charles Xavier from like, you know, the X-Men films that I grew up with. I feel like these films now, they basically have to nostalgia bait or just reuse characters and actors and stuff. I mean, people that have grown up a bit, you know, teenagers, adults, you know, the parents, they obviously still want to be invested in, you know, decent storytelling and decent films. And it's hard to do that now when like the entire market has become so saturated and things like the multiverse exist, because it almost kind of like removes every single stake imaginable if you can just like pluck something from another universe. But yeah, will I watch it when it comes out? Hell no, I'm too lazy. I'll just wait for it to come out on streaming.